Hello again, folks, and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. I'm your Game Master Darius. You might notice that I've changed the resolution a little bit. That is because I've decided to try to keep something a little bit more consistent around the channel. More, 16 by 9 or 1280 by 720 at 60 frames. Because my patience runs thin when it comes to just waiting for things to render. But that aside, last that we left off, we had done a whole lot of little side quests, and there were a lot of little side quests. And some of these we can't even do until a little bit later in the story. Yeah. Oh yeah, we also gotta go to the Crucible Keep to finish that one. I mean, really, I want there to be an option to just go, oh no, your research, where'd it go? The statuesque woman has a gaze that could cut stone. She turns her chiseled cheekbones to the sky and favors you with a look of acknowledgement. Her eyes shimmer under silvered eyeshadow and razor-precise line of kohl. Before you can speak, she throws her hands up in dramatic fashion.
Well met, friend.
Autographs are for the performance, please. After the performance, please. Great art requires great concentration, and greatness is expected from the Revel of Stars. What do you do? That depends entirely on the demands of the role. I am the Paladin Knight, the Widow of the Wood, the Warrior Queen Mokga, all at different times. To live a different life each day is a glorious thing indeed, my friend. Her mind deceives, her voice enchants. She seeks to become what you desire, to blind you to the truth. Do not trust her, Watcher. Grieving Mother, she's called an actor. I suppose I can spare a moment for a fan. Well, it's the Revel of the Stars. We're the finest theater troupe in the city. We believe that the best art is immersive and true to life. We stage our performance right here in the Copper Lane for edification of all. Does the Revel of Stars take in any new members? But of course, good drama is the balm of the soul, and we wish to offer a true theatrical experience to as many as possible. How long do you keep members? As long as they are able to satisfy the demands of their roles. True acting can be a grueling process, so some last longer than others. What kind of members? We'll take in the new and old, the tall and small, the experienced and inexperienced, whoever is best suited to fulfill a role at the utmost. I guess I don't know. I was half expecting there to be yet another, quest from all this. Yeah, no. Guess not. Alright. I guess we go to Crucible Keep. Finish off that quest. Where the hell am I? Going the wrong way. That's where I'm going. First fires. That's where the Crucible Keep was. I have to laugh a little bit that I spent how much time delving into that freaking massive dungeon at the bottom of my freaking house. And it's just, oh no, you didn't, God, I can't brain right now. Just woke up. The sword that you got is not as good as the sword that you find off of a random dragon out in the middle of the woods. Well, okay, it was as good, but it's not as good. I don't know. I feel more accomplished having slain that dragon than delving into the optional dungeon. Alright, let's see if I can't...
I suppose Cleaver's sent you down here to get me working on those forge nights, eh?
I think this is what you've been looking for?
That's what Cleaver's been looking for anyway. If you found it, I guess I've got to start.
You don't sound too happy about this. I'm not, and I'm surprised that someone as compassionate as you is going along with it. I've made it clear to Cleaver that this is a mistake, trying to harness souls like this. Crime against the gods, and it's bound to earn us more trouble than it saves. But Cleaver's given me his orders, but I've got to build these things as best I can. Anyway, Cleaver's told me I'm to sell you any arms or armor you might want. Won't find anything better anywhere. Defiance Bay, I can promise you that.
Now, time to see if that Valian was worth all that blood and copper.
I think he's making me a breastplate.
I'll be damned. To be honest, even I wasn't expecting it to work this well. Back to it. Cleaver will want me to finish the rest of them. And it sounded like he has a job for you, too.
What you got for sale? The White Spire. Estoc. Found among the possessions of a member of the Order of the Bleak Walkers, though it seems to have predated her. The spiraling engravings upon the blade are flanked by small finely etched symbols of binding and enchantment, which might be credited with the permanent chill of the metal and the thin dusting of frost upon the Estoc's hilt. So, bypasses damage reduction. I think that's just a thing for the Estoc to do. Inflicts disorientation. Grants Blizzard 3 per rest. I'm never going to remember to use that. It's pretty cool. That's a cold joke. Also, I'm pretty sure I had something else to get rid of. I'm not sure. Peter Shield, Heldrick's Coat. DR 14, 50 defense against prone attacks, defense against push attacks, damage reduction against freeze, plus 4 damage reduction. That's not bad. So a total of 18 DR. An anomaly among Red Sarens, Heldrick was a renowned explorer. If there was a stretch of land that could be trod upon, he endeavored to reach it. He became enamored with the harsh beauty of the white that wins after an early expedition and resolved to travel there as often as he was able. Accustomed to more temperate climes, he pooled the coin he gathered selling exotic artifacts to commission armor which might protect him against the bitter cold of the southern reaches. Yeah, no, that's smart. Against the cold, though. And Forge Master Gloves. Damage reduction against burn. Grants Firebrand 3 per rest. Some of the weapon Firebrand? How? For 30 seconds. Damaging 3, 45% damage, 4% for more accuracy. Greatsword is renowned for its ability to cause deadly wounds even against terrible beasts. Though it is a relatively slow weapon and requires the use of both hands, it is truly devastating when used by a skilled warrior. Summoned by powerful magic, this sword's blade appears to be one long tongue of fire. Yeah, that is indeed a firebrand. It is 100% burn damage. And it does more damage than any of the weapons I currently have. But it only lasts 30 seconds. Oh. God in Faith. Okay. This is when hit by a critical hit. Consecrated ground. Oh, heals endurance over... Heals 9 endurance over 1 second. Woo. Well, okay, it's also an AoE when you get critted. Priestess who first wore these boots was the devotee of Barath, and so steadfast in her faith that she eschewed the use of healing spells and potions in battle. She believed that Barath would preserve her until the end of her appointed cycle, at which point the god of life and death would take her soul's due. Even others in the priesthood scoffed at her recklessness, and yet she was never failed in battle. The most furious onslaughts of her enemies only seemed to revitalize her, and she was a very old woman when she finally passed in her sleep. Hell of a way to go. Anyone have boots? You got boots. Boots of the long march. You got none. You got none. Got none. Gives you sturdy, which gives you defense against prone and push. And you got Favano's boots of don't push me, bruh. I'm tempted to get the White Spire. Except we've already gotten S stock. We got a couple of S stocks, don't we? Yeah, Tidefall is a great sword. I really wish that we could see what the damage is when equipped by the character. Like, yeah, this one doesn't have any of the perb or whatnots on it, so it doesn't actually show you the full amounts. But like, my character is skilled with the two-handed sword, so it's like, oh, I gotta compare it with that. Scale mail. What does Talos have? Ah, right. That which not going to be... Okay. If I get the shot in faith, I just got it. Her faith is protecting her, but pain is causing her to heal. Shot in faith. Schadenfreude. God damn it. Anyways. It would be better to put it on someone who is in the front line all the time, but it would also be good to put it on someone who is not great at taking hits. That said, it is an AoE effect. I think it might best be suited for probably Scani. And I won't lie, I like the idea of those Forge Master gloves. It's probably going to be one of those situations where like, oh, I forgot that was a thing I have. Especially seeing as he's currently got Gloves of Might. My current... Yeah, that's just 2 might. What do you got? 2 might, 1 con. You got crit multiplier bonus. Suppose we could give it to you. You are in the thick of battle a good chunk of the time. So let's give you... How much damage more is that? 1. Cool. Give you that. And then pretty much just make it so as he can do that thing. Alright. Right. Grieving Mother, Sigani, Liliana. You're in the front line a lot, so let's give you these boots. Gods know that you get hit rather randomly by crits as well, so... Feeling like I should have eaten something before I started recording. Anyways. So now I have to go back to... Dude. We got nearly at another level up. I only ask because, like, keep on getting random 2,000, 1,000, so on and so forth. Would I care to do more of these quests? May I be of assistance? Was there more you needed me to do?
Dunstan will complete the first squad of Forge Knights in no time. Now the High Justice will want to have his Forge Masters at Fleetbreaker Castle create more.
However, it's been brought to my attention that you're a close ally to the Dozens. I'm sure you understand that further association puts us in a precarious position. Was there something else I can do for you? Alright. game where the factions actually somewhat interact with one another depending on your standing with them. So I guess I can't do anything more until I'm like more reviled by them. Not the crucibles, but the what's the word? The dozens. Which I don't mind. Honestly, as much as some of the dozens are utter pricks that seem to have completely lost their way, the general gist of what the dozens are honestly intrigues me more. Oh god. Excuse me. Now complete the Forge Knights. Good for him. Where was the one? Never far from the Queen. Oh, right. Missing sentries in Heritage Hill. Right. All Palace in the first fires. Must meet with Chancellor Warren at the Ducal Palace in First Fires to discuss the matter. Alright. Excuse me while I go walking through the red tape. Because, you know, there's nothing greater in our freaking high fantasy stories than red tape and talking about who's got the mortgage. Speak with Chancellor Warren at the Hall of Records.
Well met, friend.
The young woman wears a simple but well-tailored uniform. She watches the comings and goings around her with quiet attention. Any news to share, or are you just here to see the Ducal Palace? Tell me about the current Duke. That'll be Aver Wolfgren. Don't let the title fool you, though. Our Dukes have been elected since independence. Some find Duke Aver rather coarse. He's a frontier noble. Personally, I think your rough and tumble type is just what the Defiant Spain needs. What's the Ducal Palace? It's the seat of government here in Defiance Bay. This is where Duke Admeth Hadret declared freedom from Adrian rule some 150 years ago. It's also the hotbed of regional politics. Trust me, the gossip here beats what you'll find in any tavern or brothel in the city. Oh yay, gossip about politics. Absolutely love that.
Hail and well met.
The woman's head is bowed as her lips move in prayer. Just as you approach, you catch her glimpsing at a statue near her. Praise be to Magrin and welcome to her temple. How may it be of service? You're upset. What's wrong? This is about the fires, isn't it? They're just symbols. You can't put your faith in them. What? Only symbols? Is that why you're so distressed? No, I just... She sighs with a hiss like a release of steam. I've kept them burning steadily for 15 years, but I haven't been able to conjure them for months now, and people need to see them more than ever these days. So what does that mean? It's my devotions and prayers that keep them lit, but lately when I try to pray, all I can think about are the Hollowborn all over the city, the grieving families, the refugees. How can Magrin allow us to suffer like this? What strength do we gain from a soulless child? This has shaken your faith? She nods, running her hands through her hair. But I believe Magrin may be speaking to me again. She frowns and casts a quick glance in your direction. Lately I've been seeing visions. Oh boy. A place in the wilderness with pools filled with sunbursts of color, strange falls that seem to rise to the heavens even while they splash into the earth. And behind the falls is a cave filled with fire and heat and danger and some token of my goddess. I know there's something there, but where it is or how I'd get there, she shakes her head. I've been meaning to ask around at the expedition hall to see if anyone recognizes the description. To be honest though, I don't know what I'd do if I found the place. She's talking about where I slew the dragon, isn't she? I think she's talking about where I slew the dragon. An uncertain mission with no clear outcome. I can understand her confusion. Still, it seems odd that she should send us when the vision is clearly hers. Ah. Before I do that, what is the significance of the sacred pyres? They symbolize Magrin's power and guidance, and right now the people of Defiance Bay need to be assured of her presence. Our neighbors in the Valiant Republic see us as superstitious, but we're just sensitive to the signs and warnings of the gods. What about the temple here? Magrin is the most revered goddess under the Dire Woodens, so it's no surprise that her temple is part of the Ducal Palace. Her fire symbolizes trials, revolutions, and the blazing of new paths, all of which are important to us. This is the first of the sacred pyres. When this is lit, so are the rest around the city. So, you want this rock? By the flame, do you know what this is? Nope. This is a piece of the Godhammer bomb, the very weapon that Magrin herself helped us build to defeat Wadwin in the Saints' War. She turns the stone in her hands, gazing into its bright glow. It's weird, seeing it right in front of you like that. Before it was just stories. Never seemed real. So, why don't I feel any differently? What good does this do? Knuckles whiten as she tightens her fingers around the stone. Second one would be mean. Not sure I confirm the third. She's just again to end the legacy. I'd say more along the lines of one. You hold part of the weapon designed by a god. The very existence of such a thing should fill you with awe. Her face relaxes and her eyes drink in the glowing thing in her hands. So it does. Not an answer, but it has meaning. She closes her hands around the stone and tucks it away. I've forgotten how important that was. Oh yeah, more XP. She looks at the statue. A flame springs from her raised hand. One of the things I have always loved about Magrin is her affinity for fire, how it grows and spreads. You feel the warmth from the fire rippling across the room. You've given me what I need. I'll make sure to give the people of Defiance Bay the support they need. Now, let me give you something you might need. She disappears, returning quickly with something in her hands. A weapon worthy of the goddess herself. Please accept it as thanks for your service to Magrin and to me. Unforgiven. Oh, a flail. 30% of raises to hits, exceptional properties, more attack speed, burn damage. God damn. Origins of this item is a point of contention among the followers of Eothans and Wodica. Eothans claim that their priest had it commissioned in the early aftermath of the Saints' War to hope that it would coax their god back to the world to finish what he started. Wodicans, on the other hand, claim that the item is older than that, an instrument of retribution against Oathbreakers originally employed by the Steel Garret, an order of Wodican paladins devoted to enforcement of oaths and contracts, often in mirthless fashion. The flail itself is unique in that a spiked flail at its end was fashioned out of an incense burner, and when it sees vigorous use, the smell of incense blankets the area. Reputation has led to a handful of people of notable deceptions, whereby people who defied their agreements were frightened into honoring them when the smell of incense was introduced into the negotiation room or bedchamber. Alright. Now who the hell do I give this to? I mean, it's a flail. Does pretty good damage. 10% of it as burn. Well, 10% burn damage, rather. I could theoretically enhance it more. Burn. Already has the enchant. Oh, come on. But its Burning Lash sucks compared to the Burning Lash that I can give it. It's already exceptional, so that's going to be hard to surpass without going into the DLC. Which, for the record, I'm still not 100% sure I'm going to do the DLCs. of which there are like 3? I'm not sure. Oh, I'm a sneeze away from a level with everyone.
Sure.
I only hope that that was going to give me quite a bit of experience points. I mean, freaking. Hi. Only people with official invitations are allowed to observe the animacy hearings. Yay, animancy. Nobles, stuff to steal, nobles. I mean, I'm rather glad that I was able to finish off that quest. Marshal Forwin. Ah, Chancellor. Thank you for coming, Talos Windblade. I've been trying to track you down for some time. Yeah, I know, it's a little hard to keep a track of me, seeing as how I go back and forth on days' travels for seemingly no good reason. This is Marshal Forwin, Earl Betamar's military advisor. He will serve as a witness for this proceeding. Justice is the man next to him. Well met, Road Warden. Your reputation precedes you. I admit you've created a bit of a stir throughout the nobility with the reclamation of Caed Nua. Most are still not sure what to think of you. What is this about? The legitimacy of your claim to Caed Nua is in question. Earl Betamar has issued a ruling on the matter. Caed Nua was abandoned for over a century and have claimed the land through strength of arms. The claim is legitimate. If there were no other claimant, you would be correct. Unfortunately, this is not the case. All will be made clear once Lord Gathbin arrives. Do you have any questions for me while we wait? What do you know of Gathbin? Well, I met him but once. It was ample time to determine the character of Lord Arladir Gathbin, or lack thereof. He is descended from an old Aediran line that predates the War of Defiance. His great-grandfather, Renig Gathbin, was the Earl of Yenwood during the war. That is, until he was stripped of his lands and driven from the Direwood. Yenwood? The Direwood was a mere colony of Aedir. It was divided into 9 earldoms. Oh god, I can feel my mind going numb trying to do geography lessons right now. Like back in high school. When the Aedirans were defeated and ultimately driven out, 2 of the earldoms were absorbed and borders were adjusted. The Yenwood was one such earldom. Grasp is now the longest of the 7 earldoms after it consumed the pre-war earldom of Yenwood. It encompasses notable settlements such as New Neomar, Garen's Grasp, Gilded Vale, and of course Caed Nua. Tell me about Earl Betamar. Earl Betamar comes from an esteemed line of lords that rose to prominence after the War of Defiance some 150 years ago. The Direwood consists of 7 earldoms. The Betamars govern the northern earldom known as the Grasp. As to the current Betamar, he is a fine man as I know. It is an honor to serve him. Tell me more about the Grasp. Grasp is largest. Okay. Do you know which way Earl Betamar has ruled? Sorry, my lord, I do not. The Earl's decree is sealed. What was that about a road warden? The one who rules Caed Nua on behalf of the Earl of Yenwood is traditionally known as the Road Warden. Your position might not be entirely official yet, but the title is an appropriate form of address. Oh, well, I think he sees me as a compliment. Alright, don't have any more questions. Let's get this over with. Timing is impeccable. Here comes Lord Gathbin now. God, I already missed dragon slaying. An opulently dressed man strides towards the Chancellor, his sandy hair trailing him like a banner caught in the light breeze, boot heels echoing throughout the halls. An elven woman with cropped hair, dressed in dark glinting mail, shadows his steps before taking position alongside him. He watches you unabashedly, taking your measure. Let's move past this formality as quickly as possible. I have other matters to attend to. It is well known that Caed Nua belongs to me by right. And where is this And where is this pretender? He who murdered the Raedrix, my own sister and her husband, and now steals my land. Where's this low-born wretch? Orin clears his throat and glances at you. This man here? This is the Lord of Kainua? Thought he was just another servant. Perhaps a valet or porter. Everyone who owns their own keep, raise your hand. Go on, don't be shy. Imbecile. I hope you've enjoyed your time squatting on my land. Provoke me further and I'll hang you from the highest wall of Kainua where our business is finished. Chancellor, read the Earl's decree. Orin breaks the seal on the scroll and unfurls it. Regarding the matter of Gathbin claim on Kainua, Earl Betamar finds that the Gathbin claim was never relinquished. By law, Kainua is the rightful property of the Gathbin family. I knew it. I'm not finished reading, my lord. Gathbin rolls his eyes and motions for a Chancellor to continue. However, the Earl recognizes Talos Windblade's part in reclaiming Kainua, a site that has stood abandoned and even, some would say, cursed for over a century. Before Kainua is returned to the Gathbin family, the Earl has decreed that Lord Gathbin will provide compensation in the form of... Absolutely not. Folds his hands, defiant scowl on his face. The Lord? The amount is quite reasonable and a requirement for your land to be returned to you. If you just allow me to finish. I will not pay a single copper to this miscreant for my ancestral land. Do you think I'm blind to the Earl's motives, lackey? He thinks he can send a message with this insult. Oh, yep, this is going to be funny. I have a message for you. You can send to that. I have a message you can send to that son of a whore. Gathbin raises an open hand to the Chancellor. As the Chancellor shrinks from him, arms raised in defiance. It wouldn't be smart to escalate this. It really wouldn't be smart to escalate this. Why not just grab it? Keep your hands off me, you peasant! Yanks his arm free from your hand and steps back. Elven woman deftly draws a pistol from her thick leather belt, her eyes widen in anticipation. The lords, please, there's no need for violence. Lord Gathbin holds your gaze for several heartbeats, his eyes burning with hatred. I'll be coming for what's mine, count on it. Come, Captain Emery, we're leaving. He sneers defiantly before storming down the hall. The captain lowers her pistol and gives a smirking shrug before following her employer. I should have just punched him. Well, I can't say that Gathbin's reaction was entirely unexpected. Though no fault of your own, I'm afraid you made a powerful enemy. I've dealt with worse. I hope you're right. In any case, Kainua now officially belongs to you, since Lord Gathbin has rejected the Earl's decree. He hands you a deep blue scepter, which looks to have been carved entirely out of sapphire. Here, this belonged to one of the old lords of Kainua. By right, it is yours. Now. Gird Hewanas Stennis. Please extend an invitation to Lord Gathbin to feast with me within the halls of Kainua. There's no need for us to be enemies. As a generous offer, I'll make sure it reaches Lord Gathbin. It was a pleasure to finally meet you, my lord. Perhaps we'll speak again under more pleasant circumstances. Farewell, Talos Windblade. Marshal nods at you and leaves. I just want to point it out. I did not handle that violently. I was tempted to handle that violently. Because, good lord. And that's the call to port done. Suppose next I'll go up, well, I probably should actually go around here just to see if there's any other side quests that need a doing.
Lay low.
Is that one of our dudes? Proper key. I think that might be all that was here. I am 100% expecting Gathbin to come around at some point, be all like, hey, I'm here to take over the place now with this army. And I'll just kind of scoff and laugh as a, how many dragons have I slain as Talos at this point? It's been a lot. But, I'm going to go ahead and save, realize that I've made this video a little bit longer because thanks once again to that. And call it an episode. When we return, I'm not entirely certain. I guess I could go to Heritage Hill. I gotta level up my characters as well, so that'll be fun. Thank you everyone so very much for watching. I hope you're all enjoying the series as much as I'm enjoying playing it. And as always, I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care. Cheers.